Man, just do it, man. Most people, very few are going to look at your content when you first get started anyways. It's just practice for you for when you start making good content, right? It's just a matter of it's just a matter of building your own confidence, really.
And I would say, especially for people who don't have confidence, just like how I first got started, right? Learning how to interview in people is actually a great way to get started.
Just gotta be you, basically. Don't try to be somebody that you're not, right? That's the big thing. When I first started, I was trying to be somebody I wasn't, right? And then I learned how to tell my story and just be able to come across as a genuine person, right? Not somebody who's fake.
Believe in yourself. Okay, sometimes we may not see our full potential. Okay, so I would say believe in yourself, and I want to encourage people, right? Whatever. I mean, I think everybody should be an entrepreneur. Okay, because being an entrepreneur, it will push you to grow and not. I mean, in order to grow a business, you need to become a different person. Okay, you need to become a better version of yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back into Brainwashed To Be Broke series. Today's episode is a little bit different. I've got two guests with me, and they are not just business partners. They are real life proof of what's possible when you decide you are done living by someone else's rules. Daniel Chou and Nathan Bokkers, am I saying it right? Are the co-founders of Well Warriors, a brand that's helped thousands of everyday people escape the 9-to-5 trap and build automated online businesses. But their story didn't start with success. Daniel was delivering car parts and feeding his family with food stamps. Nathan was a long truck driver, spending more time on the road than at home with his family. Fast forward a few years, they've built a multiple seven-figure digital businesses and now teach others how to do the same. Super excited to have them here. Welcome to the show, Daniel and Nathan. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us, Adam. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, guys. Super pumped to have you here. I have prepared really awesome questions for you, and it's going to be great. I'm super excited for this conversation. But before we're gonna jump into those questions, I would love to hear, and probably all the listeners would love to hear, how it all started for you, and how did you get into like the idea to escape that 9-to-5 and just jump into business and building business and helping others to build businesses.
Nathan, Nate, go ahead.
Yeah, so for me, me and Daniel have a little bit of a different story, but we built our business together. So we'll start from the very start. For me, it was back in your off-highway truck driver, right? I'm actually your high school dropout, your ex-addict. I was on the streets for 8 years, 18 years ago, clean right now. I lost all my teeth. I literally have no teeth in my mouth from my addiction as well, right? I did blue collar work for over 20 years, heavy equipment. Then I got into truck driving, right? I was in the forestry industry and oil field industry, hauling logs and frac sand from the bush to the mills or to the plants, right? But I thought that trucking was going to get me further ahead in life, which was pretty crazy because I actually maxed out my credit card to get my class 1 trucking license, took a course to get my license, did that for 8 years, and it just kept me living paycheck to paycheck. But the worst part about it was stealing valuable, precious time from me and my family. I would literally have to call my kids from provinces and other places, staying in a truck, right? Call my kids, just say goodnight. Or when I was working local, I was still working 12, 15 hours a day. I'd come home, cold meal in the microwave, kids already in bed, right? And it was just the same routine over and over and over again and never getting ahead. So back in 2020, Christmas time, my daughter literally came up to me and said to me, "Daddy, why do you work so much? We never get to see you." And that's literally was my breaking point, right? That was my breaking point. I was working so much. I was missing out on their birthdays, school events, just their life in general, right? And I knew I needed to figure something out for them. So January 2021, I seen a bunch of people making money online. I was your skeptical person. I thought it was all bull crap, right? I had my doubts and stuff, but literally I didn't have any other options. I needed to make some extra money because with COVID going on and everything like that at that time, our bills were piling up. I was $50,000 in debt and there was no end in sight. I needed to figure something out for my family. So I took a shot on myself. I bought a friggin' online course and it opened up my eyes to a completely different world, right? 4 years ago, I never thought I'd be where I am today. Fast forward a little bit, I started January 15th, right? Me and Daniel, we met up, I think it was March of 2021, right? We joined forces. It was the summer of 2021 when we created our Wealth Warriors brand, right? And basically, we ended up both clearing our debts in just 10 months, right? In our first year of online. And since then, we've helped over 40,000 students earn money online, get started online. We've done over $3.8 million together online, right? And we've even paid out over $400,000 in affiliate commissions to our students, right? To our affiliates, right? So it's been quite an amazing journey, right? It's been absolutely incredible. So I'll let Daniel tell his journey because his is pretty amazing.
Yeah, so for me, right, I'm actually an immigrant, right, from Taiwan, originally from Taiwan. And both of my parents, they were teachers, high school teachers, right? So I grew up in an Asian family. So get a degree, get a good job. That's pretty much I know of, right, for my early stage of my life. But inside of me, I always want to become an entrepreneur, right? When I was in college. So I studied chemical engineering when I was in college in Taiwan. Then in Taiwan, every man has to go through the military service. So after I finished 2 years of military service, I decided to go to overseas, go to United States. And initially, I was looking to get some kind of business degree, MBA, right? I tried to learn how to do business, but because my college the GPA was so low, right? So no business school want to take me in. So the only school that I applied for and willing to accept me was actually City College in New York for another chemical engineering degree. So I pursued that degree. Then after I graduated from the school, I started looking for a job. Okay. Then my first job I got from newspaper was actually working for a defense contractor, okay, military contractor. So I started doing that job. I ended up doing that military contracting service for 15 years. So that's pretty much all my career, working in the corporate ladder, right? Then in 2015, my first son was born. And I decided, okay, I need to shift my career, okay, because I don't want to travel to crazy countries like Iraq, right, war zone anymore, because that's how I make my living. And so I decided to quit that job, move away from security job, right? But after a while, I need to generate money, okay? So I started thinking about, hey, maybe I can create an online business. So my first online business I created was selling stuff on Amazon. Okay. So I used to have my own small supplement brand on Amazon, and I did that for 3 years. However, I didn't have any like real online experience. I didn't know how to really sell products online. Okay. So after 3 years of trying to be an Amazon seller, that business put me into $35,000 debt. Okay. Because I need to keep buying inventory, try to sell it without any marketing skill at the time. So I end up with $35,000 credit card debt. I couldn't pay. I had to put my family on food stamps. Okay. In the meantime, trying to get another job just to pay the bill. So I actually got hired by my brother-in-law who has a vehicle workshop. So I deliver vehicle parts for him for I think for 2 years. Okay, for almost 2 years. And in the meantime, got to feed my family on food stamps, using food stamps. Okay. Then one day, I remember I watched probably ad, okay, somebody's ads online, and they were talking about the business model that how you can sell other people's products without buying your own inventory. Okay. And now we know that's affiliate marketing, right? You promote other companies' products, digital products. So that piqued my interest because that's the first time first time I got exposed to the idea that you can actually leverage other people's products without buying your own inventory and make money that way. And that's how I got started. That's how I met Nathan at the first place. We all started from scratch as a complete beginner. And step by step, using this business model, we both made over millions dollars each. And we had the privilege to coach tens of thousands of people and show them how to do this as well.
Yeah, that's so amazing stories, guys. That's super powerful. Oh my God, it's just you know, when you're going back into those moments, it's like when you had to, when you had Nathan, you had, your family has been telling you like, oh my God, we can see you, you are out there, you can't, you are not spending time with us as much as we want, or for you, Daniel, when you've been, saying that, kid came up, and now what I'm gonna do, like, actually, to bring the money that I want to support them, and on all sorts of things. So it's so powerful. But before, now when we heard the whole story, like, what was your, like, the real thoughts behind, actually, like, when you start, when you go to that, when you've been deciding going to that way of entrepreneurship, like, what did you want to achieve to actually, like, when you went on that journey of entrepreneurship and rebuilding everything, like, from corporate ladder, basically?
For me, I mean, yeah, for me, I'm not a type of person who like to sit in the office, right? And I like to make deals happen. So I always fascinated uh about the entrepreneurship, right? And that's number one. Number two, uh I mean, I I like to get paid, okay, by the market based on the value I can provide instead of just my time, okay? And because I already spent 15 years trading my time for money, then I know that working in a regular job, that's how we got trained for, right? And will never get me to where I want to be, okay? Especially I have kids right now. There are so many things I want to do for my family. But if just living on the fixed paycheck, the I cannot get my family, my kids to where I want them to be. That's why I go hard in building my business, right? And I learn how to get paid by the value I bring to the marketplace.
Right.
And once you know how to do that, that actually create more fulfillment. I mean, inside of me.
Yeah. And for you, Nathan?
Nate.
Yeah, for me, it was really just more time with my kids, man. I wanted more family time. Like Daniel, I was sick and tired of trading my time for. I was sick and tired of having my time and my income controlled by somebody else, basically, right?
Yeah.
I had a very toxic boss when I got into this industry, so it was very easy for me to tell him to screw it after 4 months of starting my online business, right? Literally, I'd already, within 4 months, I was matching my trucking pay and already quit my job. I quit my job April 28th of 2021. It was 4 months after I'd started. And I'll never forget the day I called my boss and literally said, no, see ya. I ain't coming back. Right. I went a little more aggressive than that, but we'll keep that. Right. Yeah, it was my one and only time to finally say whatever I wanted, right? And I had no repercussions because of it, right? And because of that, man, it's given me all the family time that I've wanted with my kids, right? I no longer miss my school events, right? I get to watch my kid walk up on stage at a school event and he sees his dad there just waving at him, right? To me, that's absolutely freaking priceless, right?
Wow.
My time with my kids and my wife and stuff, it's everything to me. After becoming an entrepreneur, that's my why. Right? I'll never work for somebody else again because of these skills I've learned in the last 4 years. Right? I refuse to, right? We're gonna have our ups and downs in our entrepreneurial journey, right? There always is, right? But those who stick to it, right, and go through those challenges, right, are the ones who come out on top, right? So it's been an absolute wild journey, but yeah, my big why is my kids and my wife, man, is my time freedom, basically, right?
When we
I was
come,
able, like last year, I was able to travel to Taiwan, where Daniel is right now, and visit him after three years in business together. Last year was the first time we met in person,
wow,
and we had already made millions online. We never met in person before that, so it was
wow,
actually quite an experience. So
I would love to go to that also, like how you actually guys met. That would be awesome. But before we go to that topic, like, it seems to me, and probably for you also, that, the original path is pretty much designed to, like, to control us, and, just dictate what we're supposed to do, and what we can do, what we cannot do, and how the life we supposed to live. And it's insane to me to see like how like so many people are completely illiterate with how to operate with money, and they don't even care about it. This is super scared, like it's super insane to me. Like I like if the life is basically pretty much about money. Like the way that you live is how much money you have, right? So when you've been like, in a school, and Daniel, especially when he's got his parents like teachers, like tell me how was it for them to actually, you deciding and completely changing the trajectory of the way of the traditional way to go and live the life. And what is your take on like what do you think about the system that we are handed, that like what
Well,
we're supposed to follow, and how we're supposed to live, like
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I learned this after I got into the business world, right? I never really, I mean, in my first 20 years of my life, I never really thought about how school system was created. Okay, and the school system was not created to encourage you to grow yourself, challenge yourself,
Mm,
and really live in your full potential, right? School system was created to train you become a good employee, right? When the bell rings in the school, it's time to go to next class.
mhm,
Lunch break, the bell rings, you go to lunch, right? So the school system was actually created, right, by whoever is control the society. So the school system is the factory to produce good employees, and most of people got trained that way in the when they go to school, right? And that kills the potential in you. But in business, that's completely different world, right? Like I say, market pay you based on the value you bring to the marketplace. So the more you can grow yourself, the more value you can provide, and
mhm.
the more money you can make. It's actually way more exciting
So
than
good.
just go through the traditional route. Yeah. So once I realized that, once I taste of the excitement of being an entrepreneur, I would never want to go back to the like working for somebody else.
Mhm, mhm. What
Yeah.
actually your parents told you like when you decided this way?
Oh, they are super worried, right? Like in business, there is always up and down, especially during the time I live on food stamps. My mother will call me all the way from Taiwan, say, "Hey, Daniel, why?" Because I that time I already live in the United States for almost 20 years already. Okay, so but she still call me, say, "Hey, Daniel, I found you a job. Okay, in the semiconductor industry, right? They are looking for engineer. Why don't you just come back to Taiwan, right? Get a job, okay?" And during that struggle period, even my wife, right, my family, I mean, the the only safety net they can think of is to get another job. Okay, if you don't have enough money, get a second job. Okay, work on multiple jobs, right? Because it's too risky to be a businessman. It's too risky to have your own
Well, what
business.
is not risky?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to me, the because I mean, to me, the real risk, because I already know that if I work on a traditional job, the amount of the paycheck, I already know how much I'm gonna make. Okay,
Mhm.
and that paycheck will never help me get my family and kids to where I want them to be. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah,
super powerful. Yeah.
yeah.
And like what is your actually take on why we are not taught anything about money in schools? Like what do you think they are trying to accomplish by that? Or yeah.
Nate, you want to
I,
answer
I,
this?
I
Go ahead.
quite frankly, man, school's not for everybody, man. Like Daniel said, school's designed to create employees and more workers, right? It's not for free thinkers and entrepreneurs, right? Maybe the first few years, just learn the basics, get your social skills up. That's about it, man. Anything past basic education, past grade 6 to 8, man, unless you're being a doctor or a lawyer or somebody or an engineer, right? University and colleges and shit is a complete scam. I'm gonna straight up say it. I'm a high school dropout. I'm not gonna bash those who go to school and do that stuff. It's a life journey. If you want to do that, go ahead. But from learning from experience, man, school is not for everybody. yes, school definitely should be teaching money, should be teaching taxes, should be teaching business, should be teaching entrepreneurship. But it doesn't because the system is fixed that way because of the way society is, right? If we had more free thinkers and entrepreneurs, it'd be less workers and factory workers, right? So that's the thing. It's a fixed system that's meant to keep people broke, right? It's meant to keep people in the system and just keeps working it. A paycheck is a guaranteed income. It's a guaranteed income. It's a comfortable income, right? But your income is also capped, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one for sitting there working for a year just to get a 25-cent raise and a slice of pizza, right? Been there, done that, right? I realized when I jumped into entrepreneurship, the world that got opened up to me, absolutely insane. Like the online space, the online money alone is absolutely insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me and Daniel made more in a single day than it would take me 6 months working 12 to 15 hours a day for 6 months straight, 7 days a week. We did that in a single day, $25,000 day, right? With a brand new product launch.
Most people
To
wouldn't
me,
say it's insane. There's not even possible to do that.
it's mind blowing for me when that happened that day. Right? The craziest thing for me was like I started this in January of 2021. I made my first $2.80 commission in 8 days, right? But it woke me up at 11 o'clock at night. I woke up my kids, my wife, the whole neighborhood probably heard me screaming because it showed me proof that the process actually worked, right?
Right.
My wife thought I had gone nuts when I first started this industry. Completely. Like my wife thought I was nuts. I am a total introvert, right? I do not like people, right? I am not a people person at all, right? And she thought I'd gone crazy when I started creating TikToks and started getting into this. She's like, what are you doing? Right. And said, I got to do something for our family, right? We are freaking struggling, right? So I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get my family ahead, right? And for me, that was life changing, right? But when it comes to the school system, education system, like I even told my kids this already. My daughter, she's in grade 6. I said, if you seriously want to be successful in life and want to have a true purpose in yourself, right? Start thinking like an entrepreneur, right? I teach her stuff. She's already got her own lemonade stand, right? She made $60 last week just
Wow.
selling lemonade, right?
Great. Yeah.
Right? But I'm teaching her the books, right? It's cost you this much in lemons, right? This is your profit, right? I'm teaching her that stuff because the education system won't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's got to teach them. I wish I was taught entrepreneurship younger. I wish. I'm your ex-addict. If I would have learned entrepreneurship at a young age, I probably would have never even gone on the streets. I probably would have never gone into drugs, right? Because being an entrepreneur is way more addictive than any drugs I've ever done, right?
Awesome.
Having a $3,000 a day, $5,000 a day. Frig, me and Daniel, we had a $12,000 a day just a few weeks ago, right? That to me is a bigger rush than any drugs I've ever been on, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
And just being able to support our families and stuff and be there for our families, right? Take those vacations when we want. I wish entrepreneurship was taught in schools, but unfortunately, it's just not the way it is.
Yeah. And then,
sorry, I went on a little rant there, but
no, totally. That's awesome. I love that. People needs to hear this stuff because it's, my plan is also like I'm not having kids yet, but once I gonna have, it's going to be completely like I'm going to teach them a completely different way. I'm literally not even thinking to put them into like public schools. I'm literally, homeschooling, or like they need to have some certain skills that school, like you can't teach them like schools does, but for sure, yeah, it's just a huge topic. And Daniel, are you like teaching your kids also a completely different way? And can you go on that?
Yeah. I have two kids, right? Two boys. One is 9 years old right now. The other one is the very small, 5 years old. For the 9 years old one, I mean, because I think my first ever TikTok was created with him 4 years ago. Okay, 4 years ago, before he knew nothing about it. But right now, because he has been seeing me doing this every single day, day in and day out. So having his own business already imprint in his subconscious mind. Okay, like he like when we talk about the ideas, he will make like some kind of crazy plan. He say, "Hey, Dad, this is my $12 million plan. Okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that." And now I feed him some like some marketing book, right? And so he will read it at his spare time and ask him to share with me what he learns, right? And like last week, I asked him that, hey, what did you learn from this book? Right now, he's going through a book called Sale Like Crazy. Okay, it's a very good marketing book.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, today I learned that you got 3% of people in your audience who are ready to buy.
Mhm.
And when he said that, that blew my wife away, okay? Because my wife is learning how to do this as well, but she doesn't have the knowledge that my son picks up from the book, okay? And all these amazing things that I want to do for my kids, the only reason why it happened was because I overcame my fear and struggle to try to break out from the old system. So I see things in a different perspective. And now I have a chance to change the path for my next generation.
Right.
So I want to encourage everybody out there, if you have a dream to create your own business, right? Go ahead, do it, because you are not just doing it for yourself, right? You are also doing it for your kids and their kids as well.
For the generations. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome. Totally. Love
yeah,
that so much. Yeah. Because, for me, it's the whole point of building the business is to leave the legacy, basically help people, like help my kids and their kids, being don't need to worry about those type of things anymore, being able to live the life the way that I couldn't from the beginning. And like this is the biggest thing for to me. And I just, yeah, this is the whole point why I'm here and doing this and having those, great conversation with so many amazing people as you guys, and building networks and so on. And to do that, to bring the point to that, what was your biggest break breakout moment when you jump into entrepreneurship? Like, what did you had to unlearn or learn, or what was the starting point for you? Like, what was the thing that actually brought the biggest shift for you, and you start seeing the path more clearly?
Well, okay, I want to use this chance to talk about how I actually met Nathan at the first place, and to answer your question, okay? So when I first got started with online marketing, right, digital entrepreneurship 4 years ago, uh, I had no clue, I mean, how to do this. So my initial journey, just like most people, when they first started their business, was super struggling, okay? I couldn't see. I mean, I spend like 12 hours a day, okay, every single day, every minute I have, my spare time, I try to make this online business work, but I just couldn't. And so I thought about giving up, okay, because I mean, there's no point, right? Keep doing it without actually generating income. And so during that struggling period, one day I saw an interview was actually from Nathan. Okay, he jumped on an interview with another company, and on that interview, right, I saw Nathan basically talk about his origin story, how he found his courage because of I mean his daughter say to him, hey daddy, why have you need to work so much, why are you here, right? So but Nathan didn't have teeth, and so he pull out his teeth on that interview, right? So I saw Nathan did that, and somehow I found power from that interview. Okay, I say if Nathan has the courage to do that as a father, I mean I can do that too. Okay, I just need to figure out how to make it happen. So that interview actually helped me found my courage, because at the time my self-esteem was very low. Okay, I was on food stamps. I couldn't pay my bill. I was working 12 hours a day, but I keep telling my family I need to make this business work. I'm gonna change our future, but the bank account is empty, right? So I feel like I was a failing father, failing husband. Okay, that's why I thought about giving up. But after that interview, that I found my courage again. So I reached out to Nathan. Then we start talking. Then step by step, that's how we got to where we are right now. Yeah,
That's awesome. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And for you, Nathan, like what was the moment of the breakout moment for you when it when you start the entrepreneurship journey, and what would you say to audience, like what they should focus on, like at the beginning to actually, streamline the success they're trying to accomplish?
Definitely the biggest thing for the hardest part for me was probably the technology. That was probably the hardest part for me when I first started because I'm not techie. Even now, I'm still not techie. I hate technology. Literally, if it has to come with technology, if I can pay somebody to do it for me, I'll do it. Right. I'm not a techie person, but I still learned it. Right. All
Mhm.
skills are learnable. Right. For me, the turning point was like the first after the first week, I made my first like $2.80 commission. It was week 5 when I had my first $1,350 day
Mhm.
in week 5 when I started. And that's what really opened my eyes to like I just made my week's salary in a single day,
Mhm.
right? And for when that day happened, it lit a fire inside of me like nothing I'd felt before, right? It was something that I just made me realize like the world this is a completely different world, right? I can literally make $1,000 in a day being at home on my phone selling other people's freaking products, right?
Mhm.
And for me it was mind-blowing just to see that commission come in. And it was just for me it was a light it was a light bulb moment for me because like I had made a couple sales before, but they were just low ticket commissions, nothing biggie. But with that high ticket sale, that was my freaking rent paid
Mhm.
in one day, right? And the fire that came into my belly after that, I went all in on this business, right? Like I was falling asleep at my damn computer at nighttime, right? I'd wake up right before work on my computer, on my laptop. I actually had like my old desk used to be an air hockey table, right? I had a 7-year-old laptop with missing keys in it, right? So like I didn't start with the setup I got now, right? I literally started with like nothing, right? But I made it work, right? I had to make it work, right? For not only me, but for my kids, right? The turning point for me was literally that mindset shift, right?
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
like I don't have to trade my time for freaking money anymore,
Mhm.
right? I can literally create value and get paid for what I'm worth,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
To me, that was a big light bulb moment for me going into like just starting, right? The online space to me just it opened up a completely different universe, right? You have your employee, like I was your blue collar worker for 20 years, man. I have it destroyed back from actually putting in years and years of work, right? I thought that was the only way to make a living, right? I grew up the old fashioned way, just like Daniel, right? Go to school, get a good job, work until you're 50, and then retire for 10 freaking years if you're lucky, right? That was my mindset before I started this. And when I seen that high ticket commission, it wasn't the money. It was just the fact that I can get paid my worth rather than get paid for my time. Right. And for me, I went all in right after that. The tummy in my belly, I was creating content, I think 4, 5, 8 times a day.
Mhm.
Right. I went all out. Right. I was creating as much content as I could. I was all over on the internet and Facebook groups and communities. Right. People had no option but to see me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was everywhere. Right. So that it was just that's literally what helped me. Like me and Daniel, we started creating content left, right, and center, started helping people. Right. Then we started solving problems in the marketplace, right? By filling voids and gaps that a lot of these programs and stuff don't have, right?
Yeah.
So like I don't know that was the big changing point for me was that mainly that high ticket sale, right? It literally showed me everything. Like
Mhm. So for those who starting, what would you like advise them to do? Like what type of business model they should choose, for example, or what like skills they should acquire to to start seeing results, or even not just yeah, for sure results, but what would be like what is the most important thing in the business that actually going to bring clients? And because I had a really great conversation last just a couple of days ago with Akbar Sheikh actually, and he said he shared something really powerful, and that was something that changed my life, not from him, but I heard it like from that guy who I heard it from. That basically create a successful business, you need to have a three pieces in place. Those pieces are traffic, funnel or sales conversion process, and then offer. those three things, and when you have lined up those three things, you're going to succeed in business. Then it's just about basically, repeating the process, and making it work and tweaking things to actually get the output that you want from the input that you are putting inside of the system. So what would you say that which one of those three things you should start focusing on from the beginning?
Well, for me, honestly, when you first get started, mindset's probably one of the biggest things, right? But for if you want to be good in any online space, doesn't matter the niche, doesn't matter the product, doesn't matter the offer, right? The offer is just a tool. It's just a tool, right? When it gets to online space, your mindset, you need to focus more on changing your mindset from that employee mindset to that entrepreneur mindset. Now, for getting sales and attracting audience and stuff, one of the biggest things that's made me and Daniel multimillionaires is mastering storytelling. Right? Mastering your storytelling. Be your own reporter, right? Tell your story. Tell the goods, the bads. Tell your story. Like for me, right? I've had the same story that attract the same audience for the last 4 years, right? I tell my story. I'm your off-highway log truck driver. I was your blue-collar worker, right? I'm your family man, right? That makes me relatable with the audience that I'm speaking to, right? When you master the art of storytelling, that's how you build like an actual brand, right?
Right.
You want to build a brand for long term, right? Sure, people can come in, do affiliate marketing and stuff like that, but you don't want to build your entire business around one product. You want to build your business around your brand. A product is just secondary, right? Your brand is everything. Your reputation is everything, right? A product is just a product. They come and go, they get shut down, right? The thing is, your brand, your personal brand, that sticks with you, right? People will buy from you just because of you, not because of the product. The product will get them to what they want, right? But they're going to buy from you because you're relatable with them, right?
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, right? I'm not going to be relatable to a nurse, right? I'm not going to be relatable to an engineer, right? Those aren't my audience. My audience is parents, blue collar workers, truckers, right? Oil field workers, right? Just those people who are overworked, want more family time, and are tired of freaking doing the rat race over and over again, right? For me, right? So
yeah. I think a lot of people who are watching this interview, right, including fellow online entrepreneurs, most people don't know that me and Nathan, we used personal brand and storytelling. We actually made our first $3 million online without running a single ad, which is rare. Most of business owners, right, they will, because that's the quickest way. You spend money to get leads into your door, then you try to sell them something, right? And me and Nathan, we started with completely nothing. And so we purely rely on learning storytelling, how to build personal brand, how to build relationship, right? And just based on that brought us $3 million, okay, without running any single ads at all, okay? That's how powerful that when you can build a personal brand, when you know how to connect your story with your audience, then you have an offer to monetize them, okay? And go back to Adam, your question, what business I encourage people to start with, okay? Whatever business you want to do, focus on how to build a cash cow business, okay? Like the business can bring you positive cash flow every single month, okay? There are different business model can help you do that, right? For example, my wife, she's doing like a rental property on the side, right? So we can find tenant, fill up the property, then tenant will pay the rent every single month. So that business, we can have positive cash flow every single month. Then that's a good business to get into, right? But not everybody have that capital that you can buy rental property out of gate. And so to me, after I learned all this, right, you can actually leverage your knowledge, leverage other people's products and get paid that way, okay? So to me, I think that's the easiest way for you to get started is to learn how to sell knowledge, okay? And if you don't have that knowledge, you can leverage other people's knowledge, okay? So the best business to start with is is you learn how to leverage, okay? Leverage other people's offer, leverage other people's expertise, leverage other people's the information, okay? Leverage other people's value. Then you become a middleman to connect the solution and the people who have a problem, they need that solution. You become a middleman, you connect them together, then you get paid that way. Then you have a business that can bring you positive cash flow by doing this, right? Then use that money, then you can branch out to other business you want to do.
Right. Yeah. And so when you mentioned storytelling, how would you like what would be your advice for others? How would be the best or easiest or the yeah, probably, or what work for you the best way to actually like become a good storyteller, and what would be the process for become a storyteller?
Nee.
Basically, like we tell our students, is be your own reporter, right? Report on report on your little wins, report on your big wins, right? Report on community wins, right? Basically you would just want to tell your story, right? Everybody has a story. I don't care what you say or not, right? Like my story, we just went over my story. We just went over Daniel's story, right? I was your off-highway log truck driver working 12, 15-hour days, right? My daughter, right, said, "Why do you work so much?" Like, right? That story, I have not changed that story in 4 years. I still tell the exact same story. I've just learned how to say it better over time, right? With copywriting, right? Copywriting, right? Not only that, right? But just being able to say it over and over again with confidence, right? You're not going to be great at storytelling when you first start, right? Nobody's going to be great at it, right? It takes time to learn that, right? Storytelling is probably it's so powerful because it makes, like we said, it makes you relatable with your audience. But in order to tell that story, you got to be confident enough to tell that story, first of all, right? But you're not going to have confidence when you start in this world. You should have seen me when I first made my first video. Hey, Daniel, my first video, I had a log truck parked behind me, fully loaded, scruffed out beard, right? Fully bearded, right? No teeth in my mouth. You want to learn how to make money online selling with a $7 coffee or whatever? It's like, oh frig, man, I had no clue what I was doing, right? But it was over time I learned how to tell my story, right?
Yeah.
Basically, you're just telling your story. Be a good reporter. Talk about your past, right? Where you came from, who you are, right? What you've done for work, right? Why you're getting into the entrepreneur journey, right? Basically, you're telling your whole story, but you don't have to tell it in one big video. You're telling it in sections, right? You're telling it in pieces of content, right? That now gets the audience coming back to read more. They want to watch more of you, right? It's because you're being like me talking about truckers and stuff and talking about my trucking industry and hauling logs and stuff. Now I have that audience of truckers and blue collar workers who are listening in, being like, "Hey, what's this guy doing, man?" Right? Like I was where he was, right? What the heck's going on? Like I want what he has, right? So now I got to tune in to figure out how he did that, right? So it's literally just pieces of your life, man. I could talk about my 8-year drug addiction if I wanted to, right? That's being a good reporter. That's telling a story, right? People want to hear it, right? And it's quite amazing. Like a lot of people, when it comes to content online, people just want to be entertained. They either want to be entertained, educated, right? Or they want a little bit of both, right? If you can't do those three, then there's no point in creating content, right? You just got to learn, right? But when it comes to storytelling, it's a skill, right? That you learn over time, right? Just gotta be you, basically. Don't try to be somebody that you're not, right? That's the big thing. When I first started, I was trying to be somebody I wasn't, right? And then I learned how to tell my story and be able to come across as a genuine person, right? Not somebody who's fake, right? And that's where you see a lot of fakeness in the industry and stuff like that, right? Like for me, I don't fake nothing, right? I am straight as it is. I'm your no BS, freaking how it is, right? Right to the point, right? I don't sugarcoat stuff, right? And that's the thing, right? A lot of people will respect you for being you rather than trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel.
To me, I would say, I mean, I'm not that talkative, okay? I mean, you can tell because I mean, English is not my first language, right? So I mean, so I had hard time telling story initially. Okay, then so for whoever, I mean the who, so because I don't think my story was interesting enough, and especially I started from a very struggling place, right? So I don't know what kind of story that can make people connect with me and want to buy stuff from me. Okay, so I didn't feel storytelling was something I could do or I can learn how to do it. Okay, but after being through all this, I want to emphasize what Nathan said was everybody has story to tell. Okay, you don't need to have like fascinating story. Okay, you don't need to have Hollywood style story. The best story to tell is the story like boring story, because boring story everybody can feel relatable to. Okay, so your day-to-day life are good story materials that you can use to tell story. Okay, when you need to use them to sell product and service. And here are a couple of suggestions for people who have hard time telling story. Okay, number one is that you focus on the wrong thing. The reason why you have hard time to tell a story is because you focus on yourself. Okay, when you focus on your audience, then your story become a medium to get the message into their head. Okay, and your own story is just a medium. Okay, so focus on them instead of focusing on yourself. When you focus on yourself, you feel the pressure, you feel the need to tell a Hollywood style story. Okay, no, you focus on them. Okay, that's number one. Number two, when you tell a story, have that end goal in mind. What's the end goal you want people to walk away with after they hear your story? Because I see a lot of people, they try to tell story, but when they tell story, they feel I need to give people all my past history, like a resume. I did this, I did that, right? So they lose track from that one piece of story. But when you can have an end goal in mind, I want to deliver this message saying that maybe, let's say I want to encourage my audience that, hey, even though you are struggling or you are going through some kind of challenges right now, but don't give up. You are closer than you think, right? Let's say that's the message I want to deliver. Once I have that end goal in mind, now I can go back to pick material from my past, right? Then use that as the story material. But when I tell those stories, I already know why I need to tell those stories, because I want to deliver that end goal through my story. Okay, that's why if you have end goal in mind, and also if you can focus on them, it's easier for you to find story material from your day-to-day life. Then you have a lot of stories to tell.
Mm-hmm. What
Yeah.
platform would you actually focus on right from the beginning to actually, show up there?
Facebook.
Say that
Facebook,
again?
hands down.
Oh,
Yeah.
You asked what platform we recommend. Facebook, hands down.
I
It's
would
the
say
only
Facebook. Yeah.
it's the only platform you're not dependent on the algorithm, and you can handpick your perfect audience. There's millions of groups and communities in all different types of niches, right? Wealth niche, relationship niche, sports niche, right? Music niche, right? There's tons of communities where they're literally put in there. You can literally handpick your audience with Facebook, right? Facebook is probably hands down the best one, right? Other than that, I'm a TikTok fan. I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok, right? Yeah, I'm literally on my 10th TikTok account. But I like TikTok just for that. It's a colder traffic compared to Facebook, but it's a lot easier to get new eyeballs from TikTok, right? Facebook is way better, but TikTok for me is just another platform. Daniel, he likes Instagram, right? So everybody has their own preferences. It's what you feel comfortable with, really, right? But hands down, Facebook, right? We get all of our clients on Facebook first, get them optimized, get them up and going, because it's the only platform where you literally don't have to depend on the algorithm. Whereas all the other ones, you're literally creating content, throwing it at the wall, and hoping it sticks.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I would go with Facebook as well. Okay, the piggyback to what Nathan just said. I mean, because Facebook is the only platform, it already gather your ideal customers in the same room for you. Okay, and it requires less skill. Let's say everybody know that you have to create content, right? But in order to create good content, it takes skills, right? You need to, let's say if like Adam, you are doing video, right? Knowing how to deliver your message through videos takes skills, and a lot of people they are not comfortable of doing videos yet. right? But on Facebook platform, there are multiple ways that you can get your message across. You can do written post, you can use image, you can use videos, right? So that's content delivery part. Number two, let's say if I want to sell weight loss product, I can simply put my offer in front of people who are looking to lose weight. Where can I find those people? In different niche related Facebook groups. It already gathered your ideal customers for you. So it saves you time, right? And you don't really rely on algorithm if you know how to put yourself in the same room with your potential prospects.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's for sure going to help a lot of people. And what is coming to my mind is like entrepreneurship is kind of like it's a pretty much relationship games. Do you agree on that? And what's your take on that? What do you think that, I don't know, but for me it works very well, like when you start building relationships with, for example, high status people, it's a lot of things start opening for you, and sorts of things. Do you think that people, like, for example, is it a good way to start, for example, a business also, like, for sure, showing out there, sharing their stories, so on, but also with interviews, for example, on shows, or, being like starting their own interview series or something like that? What's your take on that?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I remember the first ever course, okay, marketing course I picked up was I think one funnel away, okay, from Russell Brunson, right? And I remember I went through at that time, I had no idea what marketing is, okay, and what creating content it means. So at the time, I remember I went to a training session, right? And the trainer just say, for the next 1 year, 365 days, every single day, you create a piece of content, okay, and detach from the results. If you can do that consistently for 1 year, then see where your business and your income will grow after that 1 year. Okay, just remember that one thing. So doing interview is actually a great way to produce content, and also you get a chance to network with other people, right? Who can later help you in your business journey. So I think that's a great way to start your content creation journey.
Right.
Nate.
Or just start. I don't know, just start. Like we interview people all the time. We've interviewed some of the top marketers in the industry. We had Russell Brunson's right hand man Turner Leslie on our podcast. We've had Dan Henry. We've had Richard Yu. We've had tons of top marketers in the industry. We've even done, right. Me and Daniel, we've been running our Rise with Wealth Warriors podcast for almost 3 years now. So right, so definitely, interviews are a big one. It brings a lot of value to your audience too, right? Because sometimes they don't know what not to ask, right? And sometimes a good interview can bring out a light bulb moment like that, right? So I know we've had some pretty good interviews ourselves, but yeah, if you're new, if you're confident enough, get out there, interview some people, even if you're not confident, right? Very few people are going to watch it at first anyways, right? So use it as practice, right? And that's what I said. That's why I say to a lot of people when they go out there and start creating content is, man, just do it, man. Most people, very few are going to look at your content when you first get started anyways. It's just practice for you for when you start making good content, right? It's just a matter of building your own confidence, really.
And I would say, especially for people who don't have confidence, just like how I first got started, right? Learning how to interviewing people is actually a great way to get started. Okay, I think that's how me and Nathan leveraged that part to get our first success. Okay, when we first started, we didn't have skill, we didn't have knowledge, we didn't have a huge audience. So what we did, we leveraged. So we went out there, we invited other big dogs in the industry, right? Have them come on to our interview. Then we just ask a couple questions we prepare in advance. Then the other side, the other party will deliver the knowledge, deliver the information, right? And which we were not capable of doing that. So interviewing other people, leverage other people's talk, leverage other people's information is actually a great way to get started. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that all, guys. I think we're going to wrap just over here. I have last questions for you, because I think we just ran out of time also. And so last question if this was the last interview for for you that you would share uh, for other people, what's the message you would want to leave behind you?
Go ahead, Daniel.
I would say believe in yourself. Okay. Sometimes we may not see our full potential. Okay. So I would say believe in yourself. And I want to encourage people, right? Whatever. I mean, I think everybody should be an entrepreneur. Okay. Because being an entrepreneur, it will push you to grow. And not, I mean, in order to grow a business, you need to become a different person. Okay. You need to become a better version of yourself. So just to pursue this route will it's like a personal growth journey. You're gonna become a better leader, you're gonna become a better spouse, you're gonna become a better father, right? For your family. Whether your business really, I mean, really make millions of dollars or not, okay? So, but it's a personal growth journey, okay? It will let you see your full potential. It will inspire you, right? Want to grow yourself more, so you can make more and give more and become a better leader. So I would say that's the message I want to put it out there.
Amazing.
Hey,
And for me, don't come into the online space with the wrong intentions. We're all here to make money online, but that's not the main focus, right? The main focus is change, right? Is that transformation, right? Uh Frig, I just had something. I was just gonna say something, but I totally forgot it. Um, but yeah, for the online space, right? You got to have that hunger for change, like Daniel said. You got to be willing to change as a person yourself. I am not the same person I was 4 years ago, not even close. Right? My mind totally thinks different, right? If I'm in the car, I'm listening to the ads that are playing in between songs and stuff, see which angles they are. If my kids are watching TV, I'll watch the ads that come out, right? I pay attention to the marketing that even other businesses and companies use, right? I'm always thinking like an entrepreneur now, right? My brain does not stop. I'm ADHD and OCD, so becoming an entrepreneur for me, it's it's great because I'm actually making myself useful, right? And I can stay busy, right?
Mhm.
I like to stay busy. I'm your ADHD guy. I'm your OCD. If I'm not busy, I'm freaking, and my mind's going 1,000 miles a minute, right? So for new people coming in the online space, definitely come into it with the right intentions, right? Come into it. It's not going to be an easy journey. Entrepreneurship is not easy, okay? But it's definitely worth it, okay? Definitely worth it, right? Entrepreneurship, you're going to have your ups, you're going to have your lows. Trust me and Daniel, we've had our ups, we've had our downs, right? But it's sticking to it, right? And analyzing not only your data and stuff, but you're always going to want to level up your knowledge, right? You're not going to come into this industry knowing everything, right? Me
Mhm.
and Daniel, we're still investing into mentors. We still buy courses 4 years later, right? To keep leveling up our knowledge, right? It's just the way it is, right? You got to come into this. You got to come in as an entrepreneur. If you want to be an entrepreneur in the online space, find that hunger within inside of you. Find that why you're doing this, and never let go of it, right? Like me, my kids, my why, right? If I have a crappy freaking month, it's my fault, right? Because I did something in my business, but now I can just take that. Now I can take what I've learned that month and make it a better month next month, right? The thing is, like, you're always learning in this industry. Always learning, right? This is your biggest obstacle
Right.
right here.
Awesome.
Well, your brain is literally, you're your biggest doubter. I'll put it right there. Your biggest doubter. I had no confidence when I started this at all. None at all. But I had enough confidence to be able to want to change, right? I had to make a change. I didn't have an option. Same with Daniel. We were both in debt like crazy, right? And we didn't have that option. We literally needed to make it work, right? And that's what you got to do. You got to go into this, go all in on yourself, right? Whether you have the ups and downs, you're gonna have them along the way, but you gotta go all in, man. You gotta be willing to stick with it and stick with it for a year, man. I see people come into the online space and it's quite sad they give up in the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, right? You haven't even learned the damn skills yet, and you're already giving up on yourself, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of the people come into the space and they're in for 90 days. Oh, I've been doing this for a few months and haven't made any sales. Well, keep learning the skills, man. Stick to it. Learn more, right? You're obviously missing a link somewhere, right? You're missing something in that link in your process. Figure it out, right? Data and numbers are going to tell you everything, right? So for me, with new people coming in the online space, just believe enough in yourself. Just look at people like me and Daniel. We are nobody special, okay? I'm an ex-addict, I'm a high school dropout. I got no teeth in my damn mouth, right? I'm nobody special. I just put the damn work in. If somebody like me can be successful online, anybody can, right? There's a lot more of you guys out there who have a lot more skills and who are a lot more educated than I am. Right? Literally, right? I mean, I dropped out in my first 2 weeks of grade 10, right? That's my highest education. I got my GED while I was in prison for 2 years, right? So I do have my GED, but I only got that just so I could get out for a few months earlier, right? But that's the thing, right? You don't need to be somebody special. You just have to have enough to believe in yourself and make it happen. Sorry, I ramble a lot, man, especially
Love
in
it.
the morning.
I love it. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of that, guys. Where people can find you and support you along the way.
Well, just find us on social. Nathan, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just find us on social media. Me and Daniel, we were literally are verified on every platform except for TikTok, unfortunately. But we're Wealth Warriors Official on IG, right? Wealth Warriors Official on IG. And then on Facebook, it's just Nathan Bokkers. Nathan Bokkers. And then Daniel is Daniel Chou. And other than that, basically, that's it. You can basically find us verified on all platforms. We're verified on IG, on TikTok, on Facebook, on Threads, on X, right? So other than that, yeah, just look for our names, right?
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here and for everyone who's listening. If this stirs something in you, don't ignore it. Share with someone who needs this. Subscribe, leave a review, and remember, you weren't born to follow the script. You weren't born to be free. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Have a great day.
Bye.